Hey, what is going on, guys? The Noe here, and welcome to our new Unity series that I'm going to be making. In this video series, we're going to be making a first-person shooter game. See here, we got ourselves a little first-person shooter. We got a very nice, dark, eerie theme we got going here with multiple weapons for us to choose from. We got a bunch of cool little weapons for us to choose from. We have working pickups, so we can touch this stuff and then get working pickups. We're gonna be able to go over here to these guys. Oh, I got hit and I died. So we got working zombies that chase us. Here, let's try that again without getting wrecked. We have a working scope. Zoom in. We can shoot these guys way over there. Boom, he's down. Is there anybody else that wants to come and get us? This guy right there. Bam, he's gone. Anybody else? Come on over here. Grab the pickup so I feel a little bit more powerful. This guy's gonna chase after us. Look, he's fast. We have working UI systems for everything here. Lots of cool props, lots of grass, very awesome environment here. So I hope you guys are excited for this tutorial series. I'm still gonna be teaching like I usually teach with this series, but I'm going to be going a little bit faster for this series because there's a lot to learn here. Obviously, there's a lot here at play. We have working AI systems. We have animation systems here with this guy running at us. We have terrain because we're not going to be just on some flat surface. We got some terrain here, as you guys can see. Props, trees, lights, and emissions over there with the little lights. All these guys. And, of course, and just a bunch of cool stuff. Working player, first person player, shooting mechanics, ammo capacity mechanics, a bunch of really cool stuff. So I hope you guys are excited for this series. So without further ado, let's get started, and I'm going to show you guys what to do next. So we're going to head over here to creating a new project. We're making a 3D project. This is going to be Zombie Runner. Just name your Zombie Runner 1 or whatever you want to name it. I'm going to go ahead and create this project. And while that loads, I'm going to give you guys just a little bit more of a heads up real quick. So for this one, we're going to be, again, we're making a first-person shooter. So last time, in my last video series, we made a 2D game, a Brick Breaker. In this one, we're going down into the 3D mechanics, and we're going to be learning a ton. So I hope you guys are excited. I definitely am. Now, I'm going to pause the video and wait for this to load. Alrighty guys, welcome to our new Unity Zombie Runner thing here. With this one, I'm going to have the game up here. So it's just like a nice little thing right here. So we got the game window, the scene window, and everything in between. First things first, we want to make sure that over here to our right side, we're going to need a, let's go over here. We need, not none of those, we need, where's it at? Where is it at? There it is, lighting. So we need a lighting tab. Boink. And we're gonna need one more. We gotta find it. I have to find it. There it is, navigation mesh. So go ahead and head over to your window here and head over here into AI and get yourself a nav folder, and then head over here into rendering and get yourself a lighting settings tab. So we need a nav tab, a lighting settings tab. And then once you guys have yours set up, we're ready to go. So now we need to go ahead and head over here to the asset store. If you guys don't have your asset store tab, again, head over here to the windows and get yourself the asset store. I already have mine ready to go. Now in the asset store, we're going to be looking for standard assets. So head over here into standard asset. Go ahead and look up standard assets, and then it's going to be this one right here. Boom. And I already have it downloaded and it's ready to go, so I just need to import it into my game. For those of you that are new, you guys are going to have to download this and then import it. So I'm going to go ahead and import the package. So that'll take a little bit, so we're going to pause here. Alright, so now that it's ready to be imported, we don't need everything in this one. Alright, we don't need sample scenes, so we can go ahead and close that up. We do need the standard assets. We don't need the 2D assets. So let's go ahead and close that. We need the cameras, The characters, we don't necessarily need the cross-platform input 100%, but Unity is going to yell at us if we don't have it imported, so we're going to need it. The editor, the effects, and the environment, we definitely want some fonts, definitely some particle systems. We don't need the physics materials because we can just make our own. We want prototyping, definitely. We would need the utilities, and we don't need vehicles because, well, we don't need vehicles. So make sure yours just looks like mine. Standard assets. We don't need 2D, physics materials, or vehicles. The rest of it you do need. And then once you're ready to go, you're going to click import. And it's going to import everything into your game. So while we wait for that to load, I'm going to pause. Alright, now that it's already nice and installed, it's going to come up with some errors. Just click clear. Now we're going to head over here to the project. And head over here to the assets. We have our standard assets. We have a bunch of stuff. We got cameras. Here, let's expand that a little bit. We got cameras, characters, cross-platform input, editor, all kinds of really cool stuff. Now we want to import our player. So we can head over here to characters and head over here into the first-person character. Head into prefabs. Now we have the rigid body first-person controller and the first-person controller. Let's put in the rigid body controller. As you can see, we got a little thing here. Now, one thing that you'll notice is that this controller has a camera, and it's a main camera. So we want it just to focus on the player. So we're going to delete the camera that Unity has instantiated in with us. Sorry, Unity, we just don't need it. Now, with our wonderful little dude here, we need somewhere for him to run around on. So go ahead and close that up. And then if we head over here into prototyping, and into prefabs, we got a bunch of different types of prefabs. Let's zoom that in so you guys get a look at it. We got a bunch of cool little prefabs here. Let's quickly drop in a floor. I'm also going to make a empty, and I'm going to name it environment. And go ahead and drop in this prototype in there. There we go. Go ahead and get rid of that. And then we're going to press play. Wait for it to load. There it goes. Now we have a first-person controller and an ability to run around on a little floor here. That's pretty cool. So I can jump. I can run. That's pretty cool. It's basically just like any first-person shooter. That's pretty awesome. And whenever you're sitting in here like this, just go ahead and press escape. It'll bring back your mouse cursor and then press the thing again so you can get out. So now that we have our wonderful little character, so what we're going to do here is we're going to head over here to the assets or the scenes here, and our sample scene, I'm going to rename it. Yeah, I'm just going to save it, and then I want to rename it to, let's rename it to Sandbox. Yes, it's going to ask you to reload. Just quickly reload it. Now it's named Sandbox. Alright. So now what I want you guys to do is, what I'm gonna do specifically is we have a pretty big old tile here of just nothing, right? So what I want you guys to do is head over here to your prefabs and just kind of bring some stuff in, right? So we have some houses that we can bring in. It's kind of large, so just bring it over like here, right? Just make yourself like a little scene. You guys can scale it and stuff like that, so you guys want to make it a little bit smaller, like do that, and then press W, bring this guy onto the floor, reset his transform so that he's normal again, and then bring his scale down like 0.5, 0.5, and 0.5, just so you have a little bit of a smaller little house here. And then bring this guy down over here, and then create some more houses, so Control D, and then another thing you guys can do while you're prototyping, bring this house into there, this house into here, and this house into here, is you can head over here to the material and you can add color to these too. So now we got some pink houses. That's pretty dope. Then grab more prefabs, maybe get your player something to jump on. So I don't know, let's do this. Oop, that was wicked wrong. Let's bring this over here, rotate it over here, and then scale it, make it a little bit bigger. So we can test our sloping abilities, bring this up to like maybe over here, bring out a box, drop it in over there, drop it down, test our ability, like our jumping ability, just kind of like a little parkour thing here. Basically what I want you guys to do is create yourself a little sandbox level that allows your character to run around and get the feel for a game, right? So bring in some platforms, you know, just kind of set them up, test how high your character can jump, maybe drop in some pillars too, like this, and then of course get some colors, so yellow, like boxes and stuff, you can make them yellow so that the floor is only the one color. Bring this down a bit maybe, test your ability to jump from one thing to another. And then if we take a look in here, I'm going to shift click all of these. There we go. I want this to be out. There we go. We take a look into our rigid body controller here. We're going to bring it up 2 units. There we go. We take a look here. Bring it down just a smidge. There we go. We have the rigid body, the capsule collider, and then we have this first-person controller, and it has a bunch of settings that we can play with. So you can modify your forward speed, your backward speed, your strafing speed, your run multiplier, basically how much faster you run versus otherwise, your jump force. You can edit that. You can change how fast your sensitivity is, like, you know, how fast you can run or how fast you can turn. You want to change your advanced settings as well. So this part of it, this is the prototyping stage. You're going to be basically making a game that's comfortable for you. So you can just run around, jump on some stuff. Oh, can I make this jump? You know, can I not make this jump? Just basically play the game, see how it feels to you. I can make those jumps. All right, let's go try out this little ramp here. Can I make this jump? Yes, I can. All right, can I make it onto the house? Nope, that's okay. And basically what I just want you guys to do is make yourself like a little prototype level that you can just run around and have a little bit of fun with, and just create some diversity in there as well. So go ahead and pause the video and create yourself a little sandbox. I will do the same. So yeah, now we have ourselves a little bit of a sandbox that we can run around in. That's pretty awesome. Now one thing that's kind of bugging me, I don't know if you guys noticed this, let's just kind of sit here. You see this jittery? That is real annoying. So we're going to head over here into our first person controller on the main camera right here. So go ahead and turn that off. Now, whenever we head back over here, that head bob thing is no longer going to be a thing. We're not going to be jittering around like a crazy psycho. Now, another thing that I'm noticing whenever I'm running around in my level is I get stuck on walls. So as we're running, if I run into this house here, I get stuck. When I'm pushing against this wall, I can't like scooch. I can run away from the wall, but when I'm running into the wall, I can't move. So we're also going to fix that, and that's also a quick fix. So let's clear this up a little bit. It's kind of messy. So if we head over here into our rigid body first person controller, and actually into the assets, we're going to create one more folder, and I'm going to name it materials. We're going to make a physics material, so create a physics material. I'm going to name it slippery. Now, I'm pretty sure we've done this before, but if you guys have not messed with physics materials before, or if you have, let this just be a reminder. So these are basically the ability for your character, like how much friction does the object that you're putting it on have, right? So it goes from 0 to 1, with 0 being no friction basically at all to 1 being maximum friction. So we want to change these down to 0. But one thing I want to point out before we get into it is in here, I'm going to drop this off into the capsule collider, into the physics material, is even though we have this physics material set now, and we have 0, if we do basically, we run into that same scenario again, I run into a wall, I'm still sticking. I'm not like, I'm still stuck, right? I'm still in a situation where I hit the wall, and I gotta really turn out before I can start running again. And the way you fix that is if we head back over here into our slippery, your friction combine and your bounce combine. Basically, this is saying whenever you come in contact with another object, like the wonderful ramp here, you are taking the friction between you as the player and the friction of this, and you're taking the average of that. Well, the average is going to be still pretty high, right? It's still going to be a little messy in terms of how it works. So what you want to do is, in your material here, what you want to do is you want to change this to be the minimum between both the bounciness and the friction. And basically now it's saying, all right, but when this collision happens between your player and these objects, right, that also don't have a physics material on them, now it's going to take that minimum number, which is your player's number, which is 0, and now you can just kind of slide. I'm sliding all over the walls. Just wee. So that's pretty epic. And now, whenever I'm running into walls or running into our cubes here, I can slide all around. That's pretty epic. So now that we went ahead and we fixed those 2 big bugs that were starting to annoy me, now we need to work on an AI system. So what we're going to do is we're going to head over here into our hierarchy. We're going to create a 3D object. We're going to make it a capsule. This is going to be our little enemy here. It kind of just drops it off at a random point in the map. Drop it off over here. And we're going to move it right over here. And what we're going to do is, there we go, we got our little enemy here, or this is going to be our enemy. Let's rename it to enemy. There we go, we renamed it to enemy. We need him to be able to run around in our world. Now we're gonna have to add a component to him, and it's called a nav mesh agent. And that's what where this tab comes in. Also, another quick thing is, go ahead and head over here to the lighting tab, and if you guys still have your auto generation on, your game is going to run incredibly slow because it's going to be constantly baking shadows on objects, right? So don't do it to yourself, especially as you start making more and more objects in your game. Ooh, your auto generation of lighting is gonna be savage, right? So go ahead and turn off auto generate of lighting. Save your computer. Your computer will thank you later. All right, it will no longer auto generate lighting, right? And honestly, with auto generation of lighting, now everything looks whack, right? So just don't turn on lighting. Just don't do it. Just let it lie. Let sleeping dogs lie, as some may say. So now with the nav mesh agent, it's going to start looking around, right? Well, it doesn't know where it can go yet. So we need to bake in a nav mesh. So whenever we click this is everything that this is going to be looking at. It has a radius, a height, what is the maximum slope it can climb, what's the max step height it can go up, what can it drop, can it jump, right? And everything like that. So we're going to click bake. So if you notice, well, we have this weird thing going on. You would think that there's more of this mesh around the map, right? And there's one big reason why it's not doing that. And I just, let's see if you can do this pop quiz. Why is it not having this nav mesh everywhere? All right, did you take a guess? It's because these environmental objects here, right? They're not static, right? They can still technically move in the world. So what I want to do is I want to shift click, and you see this little static right up here to the top right. We're going to change that to a little exclamation point, and we can click on the drop down here and see everything that it's doing. So it has the occulators of statics, batching, navigation, which is specifically what we're looking for, and everything else that we need. So now that these objects are actually considered static, we're going to head back over here to the navigation tab and click bake, and this happens. Now another thing that I'm noticing here is our little nav here can't go up steps, right? And in a case of what we're making here, which is a first-person shooter with enemies that are able to chase us, right? We don't want them to be able to go up walls, just straight up the wall, but we want them to be at least able to take steps. And that's also just a quick fix. So we can fix our step height here. So if we change that to a 1 and click bake, now our little guy is able to step up places. And now that you see that, now you can adjust your level just a little bit, right? So we can bring this down. We can bring this one down just a tad. Maybe make this one a little bit more wide. So hit this one like this and bring this out a little bit and do that. Bring this guy over here, right? And then again in the nav, bake it. There we go. And our guy still can't get up this slope here. For whatever reason, is it able to get up this slope? It's able to get up this slope. Huh. It should be able to get up this slope, right? So now with it knowing that, now that it knows where it can and cannot go in basically in the reference of the world, this is saying, all right, all of this light blue mesh, you can go there, right? You can go up this ramp. You can technically stand on this block. You can stand on the top of the roofs if you can make it over there, right? You could step onto this block a little bit. You could, don't even bother with that one. You can't make it onto that block, right? And stuff like that. Also, I'm thinking that this one didn't turn static. Oh no, it's static. Huh, what an interesting way for that to bake. Probably because it's lower to the ground. That would make a little bit more sense. So yeah, that's basically what this is telling, that this nav mesh agent is going to call onto the nav mesh here that we've created. And it's going to say, where can I move? Where can I not move? And you can play with it as much as you want. The ancient radius is how fat it is, how close to the walls you want it to be. I'm going to keep that at 0.5. And let's say maybe you have like a little bit of an overpass. How tall is it? Basically, it tells it if there's something overhanging, can you go under it or do you have to walk around it? And of course, the max slope, if we turn that down and we bake it, now you're not really able to climb this wonderful little guy here because, well, it's a slope. So we're going to change that back to 45. Rebake him into there. And of course, as we saw with the step height, if you change the step height, you can climb little steps like this. That's pretty epic. But now we need to actually test the ability of our little guy here to chase us. And well, I mean, he can't chase us at the exact moment in time. He cannot chase us because he's missing a script. He's missing an AI. So let's give him an AI. So quickly I'm going to head over here into our project folder and make a new folder and name it scripts. And in scripts we're going to create one. And I'm going to name it enemy AI. Awesome. Now before we do that, I'm going to drop this off onto our enemy here so that he now has an enemy AI script. We're going to open her up into Visual Studios. Well, it's loading. Boom, we're ready to go. Now we have an enemy AI. Also, I messed up. I'm going to quickly rename this because it's going to annoy me. So quickly, I'm going to enemy AI. And one of the cool things that happens whenever you rename something in Unity is it'll also rename, or not in Unity, in the code, it'll rename this one too, so now this is enemy AI with both capitalized. So now in the code, what we need to do is we need to get access to some things. So first things first, what we need to do is we need to not only get access to the nav mesh, but we also need to make some more things. So what we need to do is at the very top of our script, we're going to create a serialized field. If you guys don't remember what a serialized field is, you guys are going to need a refresher. Oh, I created it outside of the boundaries apparently. Good, go me. Try that again, a serialized field. And it's going to be of type transform. Transformers unite, and we're going to make it the target. And the reason for this is we need this script, or the enemy AI script, what the target is. Wait, it needs to know who the target is. So our enemy now, and whenever we plug this in, the enemy's going to know the player's the target. Alright, but we also need, again, access to the nav mesh, so we need the nav mesh agent. And it's going to yell at us. It's saying, I don't recognize that. Again, using Unity Engine.ai. Now we're going to name it nav mesh agent. Control S. Now we need to get it, so nav mesh agent is equal to the get component of the nav mesh agent. So now that we went ahead and we got that component, and now we have access to the nav mesh agent. Oh, I double A'd. Oh wow, I did it there too. Okay, let's fix that again. So nav mesh agent. There we go. Quick fix. There we go. So now that we have access to the nav mesh agent, now we wanted to be able to chase our guy around. Now, I'm going to do something a little bit different, something that some in my classes that I've been taking here on my own have done, and what they do is they got these little challenges. And one of this challenge basically is we want to see if you can code this. So using the things that I've taught you specifically, can you figure this out? How to make our guy chase him around? And I'll give you a hint. I'll start you off. So we're going to say nav mesh agent dot, and then we're going to have set destination. Okay, and that's all I'm going to put in there, right? It's going to yell at you because it's not ready yet. And if we take a look here, you're going to need a vector 3 and a target. All right, so I'm going to quickly pause, and I just want you guys to see if you guys can figure out how to have it chase down our player. You got it? All right, let's pause it real quick and see if you guys can figure it out. Did you pause it? I hope so. So now it's time for the epic reveal. I hope you guys really did try to take that on, because, well, it's a really fantastic way to learn coding, is to take on some challenges on your own. If you guys have questions, of course, you guys can always consult the Unity forums and everything like that, and take a look in there and fix it. So simply, whenever we need to do that, we just need the target, because our target already has a transform, right? So we just need the target, and we need its position, and that's all we need. Because the target, whenever we set it up here, is a transform, and as you guys know, a transform is a vector 3. And we just need the position, so it's basically always going to be basically rushing toward us, right? It's going to be always coming at us. So now let's head back over here to Unity, and in enemy, we need to set the player as the target. So we're going to grab our player, and now we are the target. So now if we click play, look, now he's going to chase after us. So now we can run away. Run! And he's able to follow us. Oh my god, I'm stuck on this. Let's see if run away. And if see, he can jump off after us. Uh-oh, I fell off the world. Let's try that again. So now let's get to somewhere where he can't go. And jump. And basically what he's going to do, he's going to try to find the route to us. He's going to stop right there. Ah, I fell. Run away. Run away. And he's going to find the quickest route to us no matter what. He's going to use his nav mesh to say, alright, this is the quickest route to you. I'm going to chase you down. And then while you run away, I'm going to chase you down still. Look, here he comes, menacingly. He's just standing there, except he's not standing there menacingly. He's chasing us down. Now he's like, oh, heck no, you jumped on box. Now he's just going to stand there menacingly. He's just standing there menacingly. If you guys get that reference, you guys are awesome. So yeah, this guy's going to chase us down no matter what now. He's going to chase us down until he gets close enough and he says, I got you. So that's pretty awesome. So now we have a working enemy AI. He's going to chase us down no matter what. In a future video, we're going to have him so that where he's not going to be chasing us down 100% of the time, we're going to have him have a chase range where I'm going to teach you guys a new wonderful little thing in the coding system that's basically going to says, all right, I'm only going to chase you if you're in a certain range of me. So I hope you guys are excited for that. This is obviously just the start of it. We want to get our system working first. Of course, like I said, make yourself your own little sandbox for you to test and basically do whatever you need to. Change the game as you see fit, you know, add some speed to your character, some jump height. Do whatever you want to your character. But for now, we have a pretty awesome game. This is like a little mini game for us right now. Our little mini game is to just consistently run away from this guy and never get caught. So that's a pretty fun little mini game, and I hope you guys will enjoy this series. Again, I'm going to be kicking it up a little bit of a notch, going a little bit faster. So I hope you guys enjoy this video series. If you guys do, be sure to give it a like and give me a subscribe, and of course ring that bell so you guys are notified whenever I upload. Also, be sure to leave a comment down below if you guys have questions or concerns about anything. I will be glad to answer them as soon as possible. But other than that, guys, I will see you guys in the next Zombie Runner video. Peace.